Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name's Katie, your typical millennial with existential dread. On this channel, we like to just get right into it, but before we do that, be sure to give this a thumbs up and click the subscribe button. It'll help me out a lot. What we're going to talk about today is books that I got for my birthday. So there are 8 books here. I did not get only books for my birthday. I did get several other things like this necklace here that I really like, but there were some books included as well. Now these are actually like just for my husband because he's the only person I've actually seen, and really the only people I exchange gifts with are like my husband and my mother. So anyway, this is what I've got here. So 4 of them are from a Barnes & Noble shopping trip, which was relatively inexpensive, and then 4 of them were from my Amazon wish list, which he literally just took like the 4 most recently added books and bought them. So don't read too much into these books when you see them. There's like a ton of books on my list, and he didn't go through it very thoroughly, which is fine. I mean, everything's on my list, but he just took the 4 most recent that I happened to add at the time he looked at the list. So wow, that was way too much talking for me. So these are the ones that he got on Amazon. So this one is called Kingdom of the Wicked by Carrie Maniscalco. I see her all over like BookTube and Book Talk, and I think that people really enjoy her. I also really like dark books and kind of, well, I like dystopian books. I don't think that's what this is supposed to be. But it sounded really interesting, so I added it to my wish list, and I think this will be a good introduction to this author. I hope so anyway. If this is something that you've read by this author, let me know how this book like ranks in your opinion compared to the other books that she's written. Then we have Tender is the Flesh. Now, this is, I think it's supposed to be like a little bit disturbing. It is more of a dystopian type book. I do believe that this is like based on another book that was written with almost like the exact same topic, which I didn't find out until after, so I might need to read like the original book that was written. But we've got this here. It says a thrilling dystopia that everyone should read. So I don't think it gives it away, but anyway, at the very back of this, I don't want to give any spoilers. I do know what this book is about though. It says, if everyone was eating human meat, would you? Marcos is in the business of slaughtering humans, only no one calls them that. He works with numbers, consignments, processing. One day, he's given a specimen of the finest quality. He leaves her tied up in an outhouse, a problem to be disposed of later. But she haunts Marcos. Her trembling body and watchful gaze seem to understand. And soon he becomes tortured by what has been lost and what might still be saved. So yeah, there you go. This one is called The Resistors. This is like a pretty basic dystopian book. Takes place in the future where a lot of flooding has already happened, and there's people that live like, I believe, under the water, and then like the rich people live above the water. And I mean, the names of the groups of people aren't super original. Like the surplus people are the super rich people. I mean, I guess that's fine. But then there's like Auto America is one country, and the other country is China, Russia. Like, I don't know. I personally would at least like come up with a new name or like invent a country. But anyway, I mean, I think it's a pretty basic dystopian novel. So I'm looking forward to reading it because it's not something that's like super popular all over BookTube and Book Talk. And I don't want to get all of my recommendations from BookTube and Book Talk. I want to read like other things as well. So yeah. And then this is Flawed by Cecilia Ahern. This will also be my first book by this author. I did not read, I think P.S. I Love You is her most popular book. Doesn't sound like something I'm interested in though. But this is a young adult book. So I do like young adult books because they're like really easy to read. And anyway, I believe that this is part of a, what's it called when there's 3 books? I can't think of words right now. Trilogy. But if I end up liking this, then I will probably read the other books, but we will see. I'm just getting myself introduced to the series and the author. Same with this. I think this is part of at least more than 1 book. And if I end up liking it, maybe I will read more. And then these are the ones that I got from Barnes & Noble. So I said that this was a fairly inexpensive trip because it was like $35, I think. Young adult books I find tend to be a lot less expensive. So I do, well, actually I'm going to make an entire whole video about how I decide where to buy what books. But anyway, so this is called American Street. It says National Book Award finalist. This was in the young adult category. And this is about a young Haitian immigrant and America. And I just thought that this would be really insightful. And also, like, I'm really trying to diversify my authors. Because there's so much that I haven't read and so much that I could learn. So I'm really interested in that. This is called Shatter Me. Now this was on, so my Barnes & Noble has a table called Book Talk, like popular books on Book Talk. And apparently this was on that table, but I haven't seen it come across my particular page on Book Talk, so who knows. This is going to be a dystopian type of book. Nobody knows why Juliet's touch is fatal, but the reestablishment has plans for her, plans to use her as a weapon. But Juliet has plans of her own. After a lifetime without freedom, she's finally discovering a strength to fight back for the very first time and to find a future with the one boy she thought she lost forever. In the electrifying first book in the Shatter Me series, Tari Mafi, I probably pronounced the author's name wrong, presents a riveting dystopian world, a thrilling superhero story, and an unforgettable heroine. I always, like, I can't say that word, because I always, like, think of the drug. Anyway, so that's this, and apparently there's a series, so if I like that, I can get more in the series. And then these two are definitely Book Talk recommendations, and I literally picked them up because of that reason. And again, because it's easy for me to read young adult books, I can get more books read that way. So, A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. I personally, honestly, don't know very much about this book, but I just know that this is literally all over Book Talk. And I do know that this is part of a series. So we'll see if I like this. Maybe I'll want to read more on the series, maybe not. So many of these books are like part of series that, like, I might want to continue them, but at the same time, I might just want to read new books and new authors and maybe go back to those much, much later. And this is called Sadie by Courtney Summers. Again, all over Book Talk, which is interesting because I was actually, like, considering getting this before I saw it all over Book Talk. And I didn't. I guess I could have been, like, new to the whole craze over this book. So I did get this because of Book Talk. Again, I don't know a ton about what it's about. I think a girl's sister goes missing or something, and it's a mystery, I guess, kind of. So that's what I got here, those 8 books. I'm gonna, like, drop them all. Here we go. And I don't know when I'm going to be reading these. I don't know in what order I'm going to be reading these. I do know I had a video about young adult books that I want to read, and I wanted to read one from that category. And I know that this wasn't in the video because I didn't own this book at the time I made that video, but I think this might be the one that I do for the young adult category before the end of the year, like at least this. So I'm gonna try to get that read, maybe. I think that's what I'm gonna, oh wait, or maybe I want to do Flawed. I think this is the one that I had, like, on my counter waiting to be read next. We'll see. I'm gonna do one of those. Anyway, be sure to give this a thumbs up. If you know any of these books, if you read them, please leave them in the comments below. Your thoughts. I mean, I'm gonna read them whether you like them or not, so maybe just tell me something good about the book, and be sure to click the subscribe button and hit the notification bell.